travelers, it's Lisa with Someday Soon Travel. We're here at Chicago O'Hare in the Star Alliance Lounge in Terminal 5. We're getting ready to board that plane right there, Austrian Airlines with service to Vienna. Our day started in Tampa and we flew here to Chicago aboard United, and everything went smoothly with that. Once we got here, we decided to stop in at the United Club. Now, normally we would head over to the Polaris Lounge, but the Polaris Lounge is currently closed until spring of 2025. So keep that in mind if you're traveling business class and you're hoping to visit the Polaris Lounge here in O'Hare. So after we stopped in at the United Club, my husband and I went separate ways. He booked his trip a little bit later than mine, so it meant that our second leg was going to be different for both of us, and that's okay. It's an adventure, right? So for me, I had to get over to Terminal 5. So a change of terminal can mean one of two things. You exit through security and you take the train over to Terminal 5 and then have to go through security again, or you use the courtesy bus that leaves from gate B1 in the United Terminal and brings you over to Terminal 5 without clearing security again. So how does that work? Be prepared. You have to carry your luggage down, probably about 20 steps total. Takes you out onto the tarmac where you board a bus, and then you're brought across the tarmac to Terminal 5. Overall, it went really smooth. It took about 40 minutes, and it made transferring terminals fairly easy. Just keep in mind that you do have some stairs in the United Airlines terminals. Once you get over to Terminal 5, there's an elevator that'll take you straight upstairs. So I hope you'll come along and join us as we head on Austrian Airlines Business Class service to Vienna. Okay, so we are on board now and we are in the air. I was going to give you a sea tour prior to our takeoff, but we did have a delayed boarding, and so we really didn't have the time for that. Plus, we had a few screaming babies, and I didn't want it to be any louder than it absolutely has to be. So I'm going to go ahead now and give you a sea tour. So in front of me, you see we've got our TV screen, which does seem to have some decent options. I'm going to explore that a little bit more later. In this pouch to my right, there is a set of headphones as well as safety instructions. And then down below, we do have a storage area. It's not very big, but I'm keeping my sweater in there for now. There is actually a coat hook over here, if you can see that. But I'll be honest, I tried hanging my sweater off of it and it didn't work very well. We do have another storage pocket here, as well as one down below, which is where I'm currently keeping my purse. As you can see, they did provide 2 drink holders. I'm using it right now to store my cell phone. And let's take a look at the footwell. You can see that, but it is a narrow space, so we're gonna see what it looks like when the bed is laying flat later on. Okay, so here to my left, we do have a table space, as well as all of the seat controls. Allows you to put it upright, relaxed position, sleep position. You can set your seat to be firmer or softer. There is a massage button, but I'll be honest, I've already used it and really don't feel much of anything. And then you've got mood lighting as well as additional seat controls. We've also got a button here which will eject your tray table. And then here in this armrest, we've got some more buttons. Looks like volume for the TV. Oh, there's our overhead light button, which is great. And to call your cabin attendant. And then next to me, we've got this little pouch where we find our amenity kit. We'll pull that out. And we've got USB outlets as well as European outlets. And then a handy dandy reading light, which just turns on and off quite easy. The amenity bag is a faux leather. The other side is just a shinier material, and it does have that red Austrian Airlines signature trim. So my thoughts so far, I am in seat 7A, and in my seat, I only have the tabletop / workspace to my left. In rows 1, 3, and 5, you're gonna have that on your left side and your right side. So I kind of do feel like seat 7A kind of gets shortchanged when it comes to that. So if I was to book this again, definitely, I would do rows 1, 3, or 5. Okay, so rows 2, 4, and 6. On the A, B, and EF side of the plane, that's your windows, okay? Those are 2 seats side by side, and they do have a table workspace in the center. The center of the airplane has 2 seats side by side, and the pattern alternates every other row. There's a total of 32 seats on this Boeing 777-200 series in business class. So far, this is one of my favorite features of Austrian Airlines. They have an onboard chef, and she came around and delivered the tastefully Austrian menu. It is time for our first course, and I have some Schlumberger rosé, antipasti, bread, and olive oil and butter. Looks amazing. For the second course, potato leek and asparagus soup. For the main course, veal schnitzel and parsley potatoes. Our fourth and final course is dessert, and we've got a beautiful cheese plate. So our dinner service is complete, and it was delicious. Austrian prides itself in its culinary journey, and I definitely felt it in every course that came out. It was some of the best airline meals I have ever had. Friends, we have made it safely to Vienna, and I wanted to take a few moments to share with you my final thoughts about my experience in business class aboard Austrian Airlines. I've got 2 pros and 1 con. My pros are the cabin crew and the food service. Both were amazing. The cabin crew was friendly and personable. The chief purser came around and introduced himself to everyone individually. It was just an overall wonderful experience. The culinary journey, as they like to call it on Austrian Airlines, was top-notch. Best airline food I have ever had flying. Now, my con is the seat product itself. It was not the most comfortable. I felt like it could offer more bells and whistles. When I did put it in the lay-down flat position, it was quite uncomfortable. And so I ended up actually sleeping at about a 45-degree angle for most of the night. Now, it didn't stop me from sleeping. I got about 5 good hours of sleep, which is part of why this video has ended the way it has. As far as the in-flight entertainment, which is also part of that seat product, the selection was quite limited. There were a few current movies, but some of the movies were well over 10 years old, maybe even 20 years old, and it was not a huge selection. So overall, I would love to see some improvement in that area. Would I fly it again? Sure, if the right flight came along at the right price, I definitely would. I'm not complaining because it was much better than being in coach on a long-haul flight to Europe. So it's been great sharing this experience with you. I thank you for coming along. I hope you will like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell and follow along on our future adventures here in Europe. Have a great day.